Hello everybody, how are you? Hello everybody, how are you? It is time to start our day. It is time to work and play. Hello everybody, how are you? Hi guys, happy Monday. How are you? Did everybody have good weekends? I hope that you did. I hope that you maybe got to play outside a little bit. A little chilly, but maybe you got to go out and play in the snow and ice a little bit. Today is Monday, and we are going to have Monday morning circle time. That means that we are going to talk about the things that are back here on the board behind me. Why don't we start with the date today? Since I mentioned that it's Monday, let's find out what the month is, if it's changed or if it's the same. And let's find out what number day of the month it is. Let's take a peek back here. Do you remember from last week what month we started? We started a brand new year when we met with each other last week. We started the year 2021. And the month that we ran into, the month we started, was January. That's this word right here, January. And then last week when we met, it was January 4th. It was the 4th day of January. Let's see what we're up to now. You ready? Today is Monday, January 11th. It's the 11th day of January already. We're almost midway through this month. Let's sing our Days of the Week song. Days of the Week. Days of the week, days of the week, days of the week, days of the week. Remember what they are? There's Sunday and there's Monday. There's Tuesday and there's Wednesday. There's Thursday and there's Friday. And then there's Saturday. Days of the week, days of the week, days of the week, days of the week, days of the week. Let me ask you a question. Let's see how awake your brains are this morning today. You ready? If today is Monday, January 11th, what does that mean yesterday was? Today's Monday. It's the 11th day of January. So yesterday, the day before Monday, that was Sunday. Yesterday was Sunday. What number was it? What number comes before 11? That's the number 10. Yesterday was Sunday, January 10th. Okay, one more question. Let's see if your brains are really woke up now and really on fire and working hard. You ready? If today is Monday the 11th, what's tomorrow? Do you remember there's Sunday and there's Monday? There's Tuesday. Good job. There's Tuesday. Tomorrow will be Tuesday. What number? Today is number 11, so tomorrow will be number 12. Look over here. What are the numbers we're talking about this month? 11, there's the word, and 12, there's that word. Today, we're going to take a closer look at the number 11, which is perfect because today is the 11th day of the month. Love it when that works out like that. So we'll come back to the number 11 in a few minutes. We'll write it, and we'll look at 11 of something that I found. But first, let's take a look at our color again. Do you remember the name of this color? The word is written underneath it. It's the color blue, like the sky, like the ocean. Blue is such a beautiful color, the color blue. We are going to talk a lot more about this shape today. What was this shape called again? This was a rectangle. Now, who can tell me what makes it a rectangle? Does it have corners? Like a circle doesn't have corners, right? Does the rectangle have corners? Sure does. Does it have sides? Sure does. How many corners does it have? Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, how many sides? 1, 2, 3, 4. How many long sides does it have? We didn't talk about that. How many? It has 1, 2. How many short sides? 1, 2. That's what makes it different from a square. Remember, square sides are all the same. A rectangle has 2 long and 2 short. And we'll come back and look at those in just a minute as well. Finally, there's something else up here that we didn't see last week. We have a new letter up here. It is the letter N. And there's an uppercase N and a lowercase n. Can you see what that picture is? What's a word that starts with the letter N? Those are nails. Can you say nails? Make that N sound. It's like you put your tongue at the top of your mouth and kind of hum. What's another N word that you can think of? How about nice, naughty, no, name, nickel, that's a coin, that's money, I know one, and I'll show you in a minute. I have a special one that I'll show you in a minute. How about noise? Noise, noise, noise. That starts with an N. Here's another one that I'm going to show you that starts with an N. This is so special, and I'm very lucky to be able to show it to you today. This is, I'm going to hold it with a bag. It's getting very messy. This is a nest. This is a real bird's nest that somebody recovered. Sometimes they stick around in the wintertime, the nests do, after the birds have left, so then it's okay to take them. Or sometimes they actually do fall out of the tree, and then it's okay to take the nest. But do you see how I'm holding it with the bag? I'm doing this for a couple of reasons. First of all, I don't know what the nest is made of. I don't know if the birds had anything that I shouldn't touch, so I'm going to hold it with the bag instead of my hands. And secondly, it is getting very messy, so the bag kind of helps contain the mess. Now take a good look. There's no birds inside. There's no eggs inside. This was an abandoned nest. This one was left behind. But if you look closely at it, you can see kind of how they made it. And if you stop and think how amazing this is, birds don't have hands like this, like us. They can't build like we do. They can't sew things together with their hands. They have to use their beaks and weave everything together. So not only did they take all of these sticks and these twigs and pieces of grass and weave them together, but they somehow got them matted down on the inside. They used something to make kind of a mud to hold everything in place. Isn't that really cool? Now, sometimes if you find birds' nests, what I think is kind of fun about them, you might see some very strange things that they use to make their nest. They'll use whatever they can find. They can use hair, they can use paper, they can use yarn, they can use feathers, they can use straw, anything that they can get to weave together, they can use to make their nest. And this is where, of course, they would lay their eggs and wait for their babies to hatch. This one is surprisingly heavy. I wish I had a scale. I would weigh it for you guys. This one is surprisingly heavy. But that's one of my N words, my nest. Now, I said I had another very special N word, so why don't we do our N's and our 11s, and then we'll come back to rectangles. Let's write our N's before I show you my special N word. Let's pull over our board. And we're back to this. The letter N is here. There's an uppercase N and a lowercase n. And you know what? I covered up our sign language, but let me show you how to do a sign language N. Sign language N, you put your 4 fingers up in the air, kind of separate them, and your thumb goes in between, and you close them. So your thumb comes between your first 2 fingers and your second 2 fingers. That's how you make a sign language N. Now let's practice writing our uppercase N. It's a lot of straight lines, the uppercase N. I like to say it like this. You go up the slide, then you slide down the slide, and then you climb back up. So it's kind of like you're climbing up the ladder, sliding down the slide, climbing back up the ladder to do it again. The lowercase n, you're going to start at the top and make a line down. Then we're going to come up. It's almost like curved monkey bars. You're going to come up and you're going to go around. I'm noticing that that looks an awful lot like an upside down U. This one does. If you know the letter U, you can see that. It's an upside down U. Let's come over here. We're going to start at the bottom line. To make our uppercase N, remember we're going to climb up the ladder, go down the slide, climb back up the ladder. I want to do that one again. Climb up the ladder, go down the slide, climb back up the ladder. That's how you make your uppercase N. So you guys can keep practicing that today. Let's try our lowercase n's. You ready? Let's see. We started at the top of the line. Oh, you know what though? That would make it an uppercase. I don't want to start all the way up at the top line because this isn't an uppercase letter. I'm going to start right here in the middle. I'm going to start here and I'm going to come down. When I hit the bottom, I bounce back up. Oh, I hit that one, so I bounce back around. I start in the middle, I go down, oh, hit it, bounce back up, hit it again, and curve on down, my lowercase n. I did a little hunting in some stuff around my house, and I found an uppercase N and a lowercase n, and I practiced my cutting. I cut those out. So let me glue them onto my page, and then I'll share my special N word with you, my special word that starts with an N. Here's my uppercase N. I'm going to glue that right underneath the uppercase N there. And then I have kind of a little lowercase n that I'm going to glue right next to it. Here's my, I don't even know if I'll be able to show it to you. There's my lowercase n. He's going to go right here next door. Okay, as promised, my very special word that starts with the letter N. I, as you know, have some kitty cats and I have a puppy dog. Well, one of my kitty cats is very shy. She doesn't come out for people to see her, but I have a picture of her. It's a great big picture because she's a great big cat. This is Nellie. This is Nellie in her favorite place. It's kind of like her nest. So we could say this is Nellie in her nest, Nellie's nest. It's kind of big to fit up there, isn't it? But I'm going to try. This is where Nellie sleeps every night. There we go. It's Nellie, everybody. She's very hard to see because she does not come out very often. All right, Nellie in the letter N. We're going to flip you guys around because we're going to move on to the number 11 because it's the 11th day of the month, and we are talking about the number 11 today. This looks like a pretty easy one to write. What do you see when you look at the number 11? How many digits do we have to write? How many numbers are there? There's 2. There's a 1 and a 1 standing side by side. That's what writes 11. When you write a 1, it's basically a straight line down. You don't even have to give it the little top hat here that this one has. This one goes up at a little bit of a slide and then straight down. And then I like to give it a little base too. Up a little bit of a slide, straight down, and I'm going to give it a little base. Now, to make it even easier, watch what we're going to do. Start at the top line and go down to the bottom line. That's a 1. You don't have to do those other fancy parts. Start at the top line and go down to the bottom. And like I said, they stand right next to each other. That's what makes them 11. If I put it here and then over here, they're too far apart. Nobody would know they go together. They think I'd had a 1 and a 1. So you want them to stand next door to each other. A 1 and a 1 standing next door to each other to say 11. Now the 11 that I found to show you guys is tiny. Let's see if you really and truly can't see this one. I don't even know if I can pick it up. It is so tiny. My big fingers might keep you from being able to see it. Can you see that teeny tiny 11? Let me glue them on here. And then you can help me count the 11 objects that I found. There's my 11. He's a little easier to see probably on the white paper, isn't he? All right. This was a lucky find because what I found has an N word in it too. So N and 11. I found a picture of oranges, but they're not just oranges. They're called navel oranges. Did you hear that N sound again? Navel oranges. Let's see if we can count all 11 of them. Ready? I don't want to hide any with my finger. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. I was so excited to find 11 of something. So I'm going to glue my 11 navel oranges onto my 11 page. And now I have an N word and an 11 thing on my page. Yay! All right, I'm going to push this aside because we are going to talk about rectangles. We talked a little bit about them earlier when we were talking about our things back here. And we said that it has 2 short sides and 2 long sides. All right, how about we try making some? You want to try making some with me? I've got a few different ways to do it. First up, I took some pipe cleaners and I made them into a shape. Can you tell me what this shape is? Is this a rectangle? It is not a rectangle right now. What is the shape that I have here? It's a square. If you remember our square song, it says a square is like a box. A square is like a box. It has 4 sides, they're all the same. A square is like a box. Okay, a rectangle has 4 sides, they're not all the same. I want to transform this. We're going to play Transformers here. I want to transform this into a rectangle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 2 sides and I'm going to pull them. Oh, they came apart on me. I'm going to pull 2 sides and make them, let's twist this back together again. I'm going to take my square, pull my 2 sides, and I can make a rectangle. I can have, doesn't want to cooperate. I can have 2 short sides and 2 long sides by pulling those apart. There's my rectangle. Let me see, put it there so you can see it better. I started with a square and I stretched it and it became a rectangle. I have another way of doing it. I have something here called the geoboard. If you don't have a geoboard at home, that's okay. I'm going to show you a way to make your own in just a minute. What a geoboard is pegs. You hear how rough it is? It's really rough to touch. It's a bunch of little tiny pegs sticking out, and I'm using a rubber band on it. Can you see the rubber band that I put in there? What shape did I make? What shape did I make there? I made a square again, but I want to turn it into a rectangle. Right now, all 4 sides are the same. I need 2 long ones and 2 short ones. So I'm going to hold this. I'm going to take my rubber band here, and I'm going to stretch it out. And now, look at what I made. I turned it into a rectangle. I have the same board. I have the same rubber band. All I did was take the 2 sides and stretch them. So now 2 sides are long and 2 sides are short. And again, if you don't have a geoboard, because most people don't have a geoboard laying around home. You might have some Play-Doh and you can make your own geoboard. Look what I made. I took it and I rolled it out and I took some toothpicks and I had to break them in half and I put them in for my pegs and I used a rubber band to make a rectangle in there. So you can make your own geoboard and you can make your own shapes. It doesn't have to just be a rectangle. If I took one of these corners off, I would now have a triangle. So you can play with that. You can use your toothpicks, move them around, and play with it. Now, just one other quick thing, nothing to do with rectangles, it has to do with geoboards, but I wanted to share this with you. And if your grown-ups are around, you can show them this. This is another thing you can do with the geoboard. We've been learning a lot about our letters, uppercase and lowercase. You can put the uppercase letters on one side, you can put the lowercase letters on the other side, and then you can take your rubber bands and try to match. This one stretches from uppercase M to lowercase m. From uppercase I to lowercase I, uppercase L to lowercase l, uppercase H to lowercase h. So you can do that with your geoboards. There's all kinds of things that you can do with these. You can have a lot of fun with them. If you want to, also, you can practice writing your rectangle. A rectangle is 2 long sides and 2 short sides. Get out your crayons, your markers, a piece of paper, and practice writing them. It has been fun doing circle time with you guys today. When you come back on Wednesday, if you want, you can wear your jammies. I'm going to be wearing my jammies because we are going to be talking about hibernation. We'll talk about what that word is and who does it, and maybe we'll have a little hibernation time ourselves. Have a great day. I will see you guys Wednesday in your jammies for some hibernation time. Bye, everybody.